you want to do things right? To keep up with keeping your lives tight. Tight as in being right with the truth of true insight. Who of you want to do things right? Who of you want to truly succeed in attaining all in that which is your need? To be heard by the real answerer of all deeds, the true hero of all whom pleads. Who of you really want to bow down to the true King of Kings commanding the crown? To worship the one that ever rules alone, commanding everything of creation from the seat of its throne.
Good evening and welcome to an A.H.A.D moment, the calm before the storm. I'm your host, Minister Idris Taha, and with me at my round table as always, my brother and partner, Brother Fat Killer Abdul Aziz, Lord Holy-Apostle Deen Saleem, and Holy Queen Mother Rabbi Saleem. May Ahezaah's peace and other blessings be within and about everyone's presence. Those watch this program, may Ahezaah's peace and other blessings be within you and about your presence as well. It's always good to sit together with the Holy Apostle and discuss matters. One of the things we want to discuss this evening that people have a tendency to do when the messengers have come and they pass away. People many times in general have a tendency to hold on to the last message, and then when the latest messenger come on the scene, they don't want to get in line with Ahezaah sending down now. Many people have fallen to that, like many of the Christians and the Muslims now who hold on to Jesus still as though Jesus is still here. They only have Jesus here now in his teachings as they have Muhammad here in the teaching that Allah gave them to present to the people to follow on. And Ahezaah said there were always messengers that come as it relates in chapter 6 of the Holy Quran. When my messengers come to you, listen to them, follow them, because Allah has given them something for the people now. People in the world today can believe in messages past, and some maybe in the future. But those in the here and now, people in the world cannot get with. When Jesus came, they had a hard time because they reflected back on Moses and Abraham. But now Ahezaah presented a message through him that people had a hard time. This is when Muhammad came on the scene. And Ahezaah called the people that came before Muhammad the people of the book. Now Ahezaah have Holy Apostle Deen here in this hour of the day. And the Muslim, Christian, Jews, and those other religious people are now the people of the book now. And they have a hard time accepting this messenger and the call that Ahezaah is manifesting this hour of the day. So with that, we're going to sit and discuss that and what's going on in the signs of the time as Ahezaah brings it forth.
Idris, if I may, Lord. Holy Queen. You talk. I think about how the people can accept a prophet that's sent to their day. We read in books past times where the Pharisees encountered Jesus, and even in the case of Moses, when the pharaohs, we know that the pharaohs were aware of a unified one Lord, but they couldn't accept the reality of Moses speaking to them. I was just having a discussion not long ago in whereas we talk about how in between when Ahezaah sends its messengers, whatever time frame it is, in between each messenger, you always have those parties that come in that want to take over the word that's left, whether it's in the form of a book or it's in the form of traditions, and they want to take over and fold it into their way to get the people to follow them. So I begin to think that in time when Ahezaah sends now a new message, when it sends a new clear word through its messenger, whatever role that messenger takes in world history, the people aren't even prepared to receive them. They're made unprepared. That's what happens. They're made unprepared to recognize the messenger of their day, of their time, speaking in their language, speaking to their minds, and to a world that they can relate to. You know, they'd rather relate to a world 2,000 years before them, or 1,400 years before them, or even 25 years before them. You know, they can relate to something that's already finished in their minds, and they think that they can now, even in their cases, that they can turn it into a way of their own desires, but not be prepared for that the Lord of all worlds is real and is still speaking to them.
Well, excuse me. My view on this is this here, and I'm only going to try to relate to something that I think that our audience may be able to relate to themselves. I think one of the major problems we have in the so-called religion world of today is that, first of all, when someone is given a good word from someone, let's take Noble Drew Ali, Elijah Muhammad, Malcolm X, let's just take different people, and Allah caused them to tell us something, give us something to go with. We don't necessarily go with that which they give us, we go with them. You understand what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
no, to the person,
We,
that's right.
we disassociate Allah, and now we're holding on to a man, just like Jesus. Now they saying Jesus is Lord.
Yeah.
Right.
If Jesus was Lord, then he had to come before his time, because the world exists before Jesus came.
Well, let's say that Jesus was a Lord and not the
The
Lord.
Lord,
The
right.
Lord of Lords. Because
Right.
Jesus was a Lord,
Lord,
by what we understand.
right.
Right.
As
Right.
far as the
The
Lord,
Lord.
being
Right.
manifested within him.
Yeah, but
His
But-
mental awareness.
Yes,
Right,
clear.
and so what it is that we grab onto that person, and we try to make this person live throughout our lives and everybody else's lives, and we don't want the person, we're not trying to give the person a lost message, we're trying to give the message that came through this man. We're trying to give the way that this man lived his life to that person that is in existence, that we miss the whole
Right.
point. The point is this here, Allah sends us good tidings through his messenger prophet. But I think that Allah says it so clearly in Quran. If those who worship Prophet Muhammad know that Prophet Muhammad is dead,
Right.
and that I forever live, that is right there telling the people that this was the vessel. But I am still here to give you glad tidings for those who care to follow my way.
Right.
But see, they don't care to follow Allah's way, they care to follow man's way.
Right.
And every messenger prophet has its end until the next appointed time for another messenger to come. So what happens is we start misrepresenting the messengers.
Yeah.
We start misrepresenting the messenger because as time goes on, Elijah was going a long period of time. Now, Farrakhan is saying Elijah was this. How much had Farrakhan misrepresented Elijah to the young people in this day and time?
Yeah.
And
Now,
they don't
if
know
you-
nothing about
right,
Elijah,
if a
about
young person
what his-
sat
what
down-
his goal was.
Right, if a young person sat down with a pioneer of Elijah and they got to relating about Elijah, the stories would be totally different.
It's like
And
You
that
understand what I'm
fish
saying?
store.
And I'm
Fish
talking
store
about
is big.
one who
Yeah.
truly believed in the words of Allah that came through Elijah. I'm not talking about one who just sat back and was like, yeah, go ahead, preach, brother. You understand what I'm saying? So that's how everything gets mixed up. We can't let go of the person. Allah wants us to take the good that it sends and want us to utilize the good and going on, walking towards it. Not that individual, not that temple and where we lock ourselves down to and where we become the owner, the manipulator of Allah's words. You understand? It is so, how can I say it? It's not ironic. It is so sad to see that how people take religion and manipulate it. We take religion and manipulate it to our demise. Our enemies take religion and manipulate it to keep us under control.
Right.
So we have to look at the manipulation that's going on with the word. You know, there's nothing wrong with loving those who Allah send down with this message. Allah tell us that we should love it because it is a manifestation of itself in the pure light on this earth. You understand what I'm saying? But it's wrong when we worship that messenger and forget about Allah.
I would think a greater part of loving that messenger is to take hold strongly of the message that messenger was sent to give, you know, and to serve, to take hold of it.
And give that
Yeah.
information back out
Yeah.
correctly, and not so much with the word. You know, we get so caught up with
Give them
our
that.
tongue,
Yeah.
you know, but the messenger, with all that it gives with the tongue, it gives that equally with its action.
Yeah.
You know, it coincides with each other. You know, we put too much on looking like the messenger, talking like the messenger, or speaking like the messenger, all that kind of stuff. And we never, in religious sects, you never find no one walking, and I'm not talking about the physical walk, walking in the same light of that messenger, or trying to walk in the same light of that messenger.
Very rarely.
Because what happens is, I know I'm getting ready to say, what happens is, once a person connects to the messenger, and I know this from experience, once a person, Allah has allowed a person to connect with that messenger, They no longer see that messenger as the messenger. They look at the messenger as the babysitter, the friend, the carpet that they want to walk upon, and what have you. That messenger loses its value to the individuals that have been blessed to be in this company. It's sad, but it's true. Like I said, I bear witness to that.
All right, let me say something. One of the major causes of all our problems, you know, the human factor, is that every human being has a devil inside of them, for real. And most of the human beings don't address the devil that's in them.
Yeah.
Even those who are aware, or I should say have been made aware, they tend to ignore the devil that's in them. Oh, it might come up in conversation, it might come up in a thought, but then they put it back behind them. Oh, that's my devil, it's all right. You know, well, I'm going to fight this devil, but not right now. You know, well, my devil isn't as bad as that person's devil over there. At least I'm not doing this, that, or the other. Yeah, I know I'm thinking this, but I'm not doing anything. Forgetting that thoughts are things.
Yeah.
And they produce, you know, thoughts produce energy that goes out into the universes. Go out and touch people. And people who are sensitized in spirituality, psychic phenomenon, you know, those who are awakened, sense the energy of your thoughts. Read the vibrations of your thoughts, just like it's been put on a chalkboard. You understand? So our problem is not wanting to deal with our own devils. You see? So now, when the messenger comes, your devil don't want to hear hear the messenger. Your devil is actively working. It has come from the seat, from the throne of Allah, and put down on earth. And when you're born into this world, it's born into this world with you. Huh? And it's cast down, and it's been with you ever since you popped out of your mother's womb. And it knows you as well or better than you know yourself, because here you are ignoring an aspect of yourself that's not ever ignoring you.
Right.
An aspect of yourself that's consistently and continuously studying you, acting against you, trying to get you to act against yourself and your highest self, which is the Lord itself, the reality of being. So, you know, that's the major problem right there. So that's why you would take someone like a Louis Farrakhan, and after Elijah passed, you know, he showed himself by running away.
Right.
Showed them human side of himself. Let me run, because they want to get me.
Right.
Okay, after a while, okay, they're not thinking about me. Certain other people want me to come back out and speak. Okay, let me go and speak. All right, let me speak Elijah's words. Oh, this feel good. After a while, oh, let me get my words in here.
Yeah.
Oh, forget about Elijah. Let me just remind him that I'm a student of Elijah. And now I'm the divine reminder.
Right.
I'm more than what I was before. Now I'm the divine reminder, giving himself a title that he has no authority to give. Now, 30 years or 40 years or whatever, 34 years after Elijah's gone, nobody knows about Elijah who wasn't alive during this time, or wasn't of age, the age of awareness during this time. Why? The followers are still here. His so-called major student is still here leading his people. Why? They reverting to Farrakhan, the divine reminder, and giving him so much glory and praise, when Elijah never called people to himself, he called them to Allah.
Right.
You see? So why is it that people always end up calling people to themselves? Because that devil that's working inside of them that they don't want to deal with. Prophet Muhammad's words are still heavier than any of the prophets that has come since his time.
That's right.
Up until this day. And when the people get the new covenant from Allah that it has given me, the book of the 7 seals, then they could weigh out and see how heavy those words are. Now my Lord says, and these are not my words, my Lord says that this book that it has given through me encompass all the books that has come, including the Torah and the gospel. All the books for the past 25,000 years. Because we are at a new day and time for the next generation of the next 25,000 years. Yeah. And this book contains all that is needed for the next 3,500 years.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right.
You see? So I leave that for the people to weigh themselves. But everything that has come between this time and Prophet Muhammad's time and Moses' time has basically been reminders,
right,
offshoots,
Right.
small offshoots, because there haven't been a major book from the sent down from the Lord, from the book of life,
right.
and that's the only place it comes from. You see, now with Allah being the author of this book, being the author of all those books, it could tell you what it want to tell you about its books.
That's right.
Hmm?
Allah leaves something in the Quran that I think many people may have missed in the later chapters of the Quran when Allah said, these are pages from the greater book.
From the greater book.
That's what it says, Kitab, or the mother of the books, seated beneath the throne of Ahezaah.
Yeah.
And people today don't recognize those are all leaves from that one tree. And that's where people miss. They hold on to the parts of the book, holding it high, that this is the book that the Lord had given us, and we lock it in. But if you believe Allah said there was always something to come afterwards, like they mistranslated the Quran, that which came before that which is yet to come, which they said in the hereafter. They mistranslate. So now you're not looking for anything afterwards now.
Right.
And they can say Muhammad's the seal of the prophets. And the Quran is the final of the book.
And make it seem like the seal is the final.
Right.
When we know the seal has never meant final. Any dictionary you go into, you know. But you know, men, because of that devil.
Right. To that, yeah.
Because of that devil they don't want to deal with, it's so confounding. Back to what we said in the earlier show, Jesus had hair like sheep wool.
That's right.
Nappy.
Mm-hmm.
Muhammad, the complexion of an olive.
Right.
Right in the Holy Quran.
That's right.
Okay? Now, you got billions, or if not millions, you got billions, if not billions, millions of people worshiping a man with long, stringy, monkey-like hair.
Right.
In Christianity. Worshiping a man that's fair-skinned, so-called fair-skinned, like a Caucasian in Islam.
Oh, yeah.
How is that? When right in their books, it gives them a description. Allah does those things for a reason.
Oh, yeah.
Not to say that the dark-skinned man, nappy-haired man is greater than the other people. The Lord was disturbed, was not pleased, I should say, with the Hebrews who turned to Judaism.
Right.
Now you got people thinking Judaism was the religion of Moses.
That's right.
When Judah was the one who tried to kill Joseph, the one who was beloved of Allah. And those people took up his way and became Judaized, aggressive, angry, possessive, worldly. And that's why they so rich today. Right. Materially rich, sticking together. Okay, Allah gave them the book and made them chosen among all the people.
That's
right. The Lord never said, this covenant is for you alone, to not share it with any other of humanity.
That's right.
If that was what Allah meant for the Hebrews, then how did the Jews get it? How did the Semitic Aryan Jews get it?
Right.
And possess it when it was given to a dark-skinned Hebrew people? You understand? So it's that devil that always gets inside that people don't want to address. You know, now you talk about the devil, people act like you ain't even saying anything.
Right.
It's not even in religion no more.
No.
Now what's in religion, but now what's in religion is how can I get to the presidency? How can I get to politics?
Right.
How can I lead the people there? This world is cursed today because of people turning away from the covenant of the Lord and trying to latch on to the covenant of the Constitution of the United States of America and other constitutions.
Leaving the covenant of the Lord, going to the covenant of man.
Leaving the covenant of the Lord, going to the covenant of the devil.
Yeah.
That's
The
it.
devil,
We're going
that's
to talk
right.
about that devil and what that devil is so recognizable, actually is recognizable as themselves. So because they think it's themselves, they deny that it's the devil. That makes them desire.
I beg to differ. I beg to differ. I just said in my conversation that these people ignore this reality of their being. They know, come on, have you ever mistaken your devil for not being there? You ignore it,
Yeah.
but ever since somebody has made you aware of it, you know it's there.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Caucasians people hated Elijah for calling Caucasian people devil. But who called Caucasians devil more than Caucasians call themselves devils? The American Caucasians always called themselves devils. They even address their little baby, look at my little devil. Oh, you little cute devil, you. And they mean it.
I see that, man, working at the place we work at, man. Them fans that believe in the devil, they take it serious.
Yes.
To costume and everything.
Let me tell you something. When you get into this hard rock music and what have you, there's no mistake that they're taking you on the downside or the negative side to take your mind into this demonic state.
Yeah.
Music can do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
It's like
You know,
Oh, yeah.
don't think for a moment that these people don't know that devil exists in them.
Oh,
They ignore it
Yeah.
and excuse it.
Yeah.
Huh? But they and they join it.
Yeah.
And when they join it and they like it, then they hide it from you.
Right.
See, Ahezaah cursed the African American people because when the African American people were slaves, they called on Ahezaah mutt.
Yes, they did.
Oh, yeah.
When they thought that they was free, they called on their slave master mutt.
Yes.
And that's why Ahezaah have allowed their children of this day and time to run around blowing each other brains out,
Mhm.
listening to that crazy hip hop music with all these satanic lyrics.
Let me tell you this here. Hold that thought, please. Don't lose it. It's very short what I'm going to say. People might not like this. People may want to say I'm small-minded for saying this. But I'm the messenger prophet of Allah that got a much greater message than Noble Drew Ali and Elijah Muhammad and Marcus Garvey and Martin Luther King and all the rest of them. Because we talking about information that's taking you into the reality itself. Right. Information that the reality would join you in and grant you of its power of knowledge, its experience. Allah said to me in the name of Ahezaah and in the name of Allah that it is angry with the African American people for ignoring and rejecting Elijah Muhammad, for rejecting his call, the Lord's call through Elijah, for us to come together as a people in love, not in hatred of the Caucasian, in love of one another and prepare ourselves for the great covenant that was to be coming that Elijah spoke about. For the time when the Lord itself, Allah told the Christians that it will come in the presence of a man that will come to the temple of Elijah. It told the Christians this and they ignore this. And they act just like Elijah is not to have existed. Huh? They know that during the time of Jesus and John, they was asked, are you the Elijah? And they said no. Right. And then the only one came from that since then was Muhammad. So they know Elijah had yet to come in this last day. That's to the Christians. So I say to you Christians, for you to African American Christians, You who rejected Elijah rejected the Lord's call of you.
Definitely.
You don't have, it didn't have to agree with you. The calling have to agree with you. He was the last caller to call you together as a people before my coming. And I have called you for a short period of time to come together. I'm not calling you to come together any longer. I'm calling all the people, I don't care what your race is, to this covenant of Allah. This covenant of Ahezaah. Now, you can ignore it all you want. That's nothing on me. That's on you. You know?
I was like,
She was talking and I cut her off, you know.
But even with Holy Apostle saying that, if people go back and reflect and be fair, see, our people refuse to be fair and hate the way.
And
Hate the way. But once Elijah started calling the people to get themselves together to become independent, that disturbed the Caucasian people. So what did they do? They start going to them Christians, start giving them more money, start hiring them, start opening up their education system. All this
Especially
transition,
down south.
right? All this transition came about once Elijah had Elijah doing what it had doing for African American people. Then when Martin Luther King went out there, they said, "Oh, Martin, you ain't got to walk. What y'all want? Y'all want to drink behind our spit? Y'all want to come to our restaurant? Okay." See, the conservative Caucasian people wasn't like their thug Caucasian people. Their whole thing was putting things in motion to divide the African American people, which they were successful with. And I said this
Even
today.
still today, the college system, the education system is wide open more so for black the African Americans down south. That's why most of the athletes come from down south. You go down south into their schools, they got better sports programs, better educational programs. They got, you look at the black African colleges down there. How did that's not no mistake when the African Americans was the most intellectual in the North.
Yeah.
From way back when. How did that happen?
Because
By design.
Yeah, divide and conquer. And I'm sorry to say it, the Muslims have followed suit, but the Christians took up the front row with that divide and conquer thing.
Yeah.
Always snubbing their nose. And see, that's why I tell people, hardship is a blessing. Because see, when they were slaves and was getting their behind
They
kicked,
remember the law much.
they remember the law much and they stuck together. That's how they waded in the water and got under the ground railroad and everything. They was loving each other and buddies and
Except that house Negro.
Except them house niggas. But they left them house niggas right where they was at and they did their thing. But now they took the religion of Christianity, they took what Elijah brought, and they made sure they brought about a division. They gave you bougie African American people little homes and little jobs and stuff, so you could look down on your people. So when you become supervisor, you could suppress, oppress, and depress your people.
Like the slave
And look at this great transformation. This is something she just brought to my mind. Way back in the day when I was a kid, a very youngster, the ones who were well off was all light-skinned people.
Well, that color thing.
And like East Orange was full of them. The whole city of light-skinned people, man, red bones. You know what I'm saying? You could tell they was mixed with Caucasians somewhere in their line.
I remember you can catch the bus up to East Orange, and as you got closer to East Orange, the bus got lighter
and lighter. Now, you go to these jobs, you could get people blacker than me, sitting up there with big lips. Like they need a bone in their nose. With those bourgeoisie attitudes and looking down on you. Yeah. The Caucasians said, the hell with that. We gonna take the minds. Those whose minds we could take to hold their people back. And we gonna open the doors for them. We gonna open the doors for the women. Jail the men. And any of the ones who got that slave mentality that don't care about that's desecrating their people, them the ones you're gonna raise up. And that's why you got certain ones of them in the media making millions and millions of dollars. leading our people astray, and our people thinking that they are all right because of the money in this capitalistic society, and refuse to see the writing on the wall.
Who of you want to do things right? To keep up with keeping your lives tight. Tight as in being right with the truth of true insight. Who of you want to do things right? Who of you